My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to the 12, "As you go, make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, drive out demons. Without cost you have received, without cost you are to give. Do not take gold or silver or copper for your belts, no sack for the journey or a second tunic or sandals or walking stick. The laborer deserves his keep. Whatever town or village you enter, look for a worthy person in it and stay there until you leave. As you enter a house, wish it peace. If the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. If not, let your peace return to you." The Gospel of the Lord. We celebrate today the memory of St. Barnabas. He was not one of the original apostles, but he was a companion of Paul and went with him in the first missionary journey. And as we found in the Acts of the Apostles this morning, it is Barnabas who calls Paul to Antioch to preach with him for a year, those who were becoming Christians. And it was in Antioch for the first time that they were called Christians. Barnabas was also present at the First Council of Jerusalem, which, as you recall, was a very pivotal moment in the changing kind of the style and the understanding of Christianity, because all of a sudden there was the realization that you did not have to be Jewish in order to become Christian, that anybody could be called to new life. And there was no need to go through Jewish ritual in order to prepare for it. The gospel today from Matthew sort of gives us a guideline, if you will, as to what the apostles are to do. First and foremost, to preach the message that the kingdom is at hand. And having done that, to show that the kingdom is at hand by curing the sick and raising the dead and cleansing the lepers and driving out demons. Very, very strong, kind of powerful image as to what the early church was capable of. Also, Jesus is very clever in suggesting to them that they should offer all that they have free of charge, knowing full well that they will be taken care of, that God will provide, and that the people who are believers will provide. He also suggests to them that if people don't accept the peace you give, take the peace back. Just go off to the next place. So it's the awareness that you try, but if it doesn't succeed, you don't see it as a failure, but you move into another direction. And this guidepost, in a sense, is one that should mark all of the church in the course of its life. Today, then, as we gather to remember Barnabas and his call and zeal as an apostle of Christ, let us be aware as well that we are called in the same light to be those kind of apostles to the people around us. I survived almost three rectors, Father Msgr Campbell, and then in turn Father Peter Drilling, and now Father Charlie Sliz. And it's been a marvelous 12 and a half years here. There are so many people I've run into that join us every day in television. It's amazing how the number of people that do that. And a number of people have said to me that they'd listen to the Mass on radio, although I can't imagine listening to the Mass on radio, but I've never tried to do it. But apparently some people do that as they're on their way home from work. So it's been a great blessing, and I've appreciated your care and concern. I used to get messages every so often about try this for your ailment or try that for your ailment. And one of the classics was a particular week where I got a few notes saying that they really enjoyed the Mass and enjoyed the homily, but I shouldn't be looking at my cell phone. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not looking at any cell phone. And what it was, of course, was my the microphone. And sometimes I couldn't remember if it was on or off. So the next day, I pulled it out and said, "This is not a cell phone, it's a microphone." And I had these senior moments. And of course, then I got a couple of messages back apologizing for the fact that they thought it was a cell phone. So it's been kind of an ongoing communication, even though I don't see many faces. A couple of people actually did come yesterday for the 10:30 Mass that watch it on television. So it was nice to see people with a name that they had. One gentleman from Niagara Falls came with his daughter. I didn't see him, unfortunately, but he came and left a box of candy at the front door. So people are good. So please continue to keep me in your prayer as I begin a new phase of my life. And remember always that I'll think of you in very, very affectionate ways. Those that are here, that I see with regularity, and all those whose faces I do not know, but feel their spirit. And then if only the sciatica would get better.